This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show.
Hey, what up? Happy Thursday. Jason Walker Show back off the wall Mancave and ready for a fun one. We're going to talk a whole lot of different sports today with Curt Synness, the Helena Sports Hall of Fame inductions coming up in July. We'll talk about that. With the legend himself, also Barry Abrams, our good friend, will join us to talk about the Belmont Stakes, which are actually in Saratoga this Saturday. And who will win out of the 10 horses? So Barry is coming up. Stick around for that. On the show, you can, as always, check us out on the Facebook, the X, the YouTube, Rumble, Truth Social, listen on Podbean, Network One Sports, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, Google, iHeart Podcasts, kind of everywhere. Go to jasonwalkershow.com, jasonwalkermedia.com for Continental Divide Radio anytime. So there you go. Congratulations to Levi Taylor, Montana State men track athlete. Placed fifth in the first heat of the men's 3,000-meter steeplechase on Wednesday. That was yesterday at the NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championships in Oregon. Taylor now runs in the final at 7:24 Mountain Time Friday night. He is the 9th-ranked steeplechaser in D1 this year. Finished in 8 minutes, 33.11 seconds to place 5th in the heat, 11th overall. And he will run for the final. A couple other Bobcat steeplechasers. Rob McManus was 7th, just missed the cut for the final. And Owen Smith placed 12th. So those two guys not getting to the final, but a great season nonetheless. Let's see here. Trying to figure out where I'm heading next. I had it. Oh, Evan Todd, Glacier, Kalispell native, placed 22nd in the javelin out at the NCAAs. So congrats to him. Got rodeo this week. You've got the Northern Rodeo at Conrad for Whoop-Up Days, Friday and Saturday. Culbertson, Friday and Saturday, and then Poplar on Sunday. So a lot of great rodeo now. Next week starts the PRCA circuit in Montana. A lot of great stuff. And just having a good time with the little one on her first summer break from school. She will start some summer camps next week, including a golf camp next week. So very, very fun stuff. Hanging out with her. Went to the park yesterday. It was beautiful. Little bit too windy for my liking still, but the wind's dying down, and it's going to be in the 80s most of the weekend, which is great. Speaking of rodeo, we got the Montana High School Rodeo Finals up at Majestic Valley Arena in Kalispell this weekend, and Slack at 8 a.m. Evening performance tonight at 6:30, and Friday at 6:30, as well as Slack Friday morning at 8, and then championship round gets underway 1 o'clock Saturday. And the Cowboy Channel is going to be broadcasting the performances. So there you go. Very cool. And it's going to be a good time. Already some champs crowned. State shooting champions in light rifle, Sophia Wyatt of Dillon, trap shoot, Emma Atkinson of Great Falls. And cutting and cow horse took place last night. Did not get the winners yet. But very, very cool. And there's some good ones in that high school finals. Haley Berger of Capitol High heading off to MSU next year. Speaking of MSU, Bobcat men and women, along with members of Western and MSU Northern and a couple of individuals from others in the Big Sky region, all headed off to Casper. CNFR starts on Sunday. And Taylor Moykins, man, I mean, the Bobcat women have a chance to win another national championship, I think. And there could definitely be some individual crowns in there as well, which is very awesome. Very, very awesome. Let's see, what else did we get to? Not a lot. Good stuff. You had you got Pioneer League baseball going on, and we'll get to it. It's early in the season. Nico Harrison, former Bobcat men's basketball player, has earned a contract extension with the Dallas Mavericks, so that is cool. Congrats to him. And yeah, so good stuff. Very, very good stuff. The Paddleheads and the Voyagers of Missoula have been putting up some numbers. 14-12 last night, is that right? Crazy. Yeah. Oh, I saw this. Lee Walburn from former Whitefish Bulldog, Carroll decathlete, is seventh, or a senior rather, at Washington State. He is 11th in the decathlon right now, just under 4,000 points. So, pretty awesome. And, I mean, you talk about the state of Montana and how great our athletes are, and it's just nonstop. It's never-ending, and it's fantastic. And that includes the city of Helena, where for the previous 11 years they've been doing the Helena Sports Hall of Fame. Already some amazing people in it. And this year's class is just as good. And we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Curt Synness, who has written up all the bios, knows Helena sports inside and out, is my go-to when somebody's close to or breaks a record. I always confirm it through him, and he is great. So when we come back to the Off the Wall Mancave, we'll check in with Curt Synness. A walk-up brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes. Veteran-owned, family-owned, woman-owned, and operated over 15 floor plans. Check them out, yourcustomlog.com. Coming right back with Curt Synness, Jason Walker Show.
As the industry leader, Montana Custom Log Homes is your path to the custom log home you've always dreamed of. Whether you use your own plans or select from their 15-plus beautiful milled log home designs, they're committed to bringing your vision to life. Imagine your home crafted with over 50 years of experience by Montana's finest craftsmen and built to last for generations. They specialize in authentic, genuine log homes full of character and warmth, but offer more than just homes. They manage every detail, from majestic handcrafted and timber frame homes to log accents, inviting entryways, project management, and stunning stairs and railings. Start your exciting journey today. Visit yourcustomlog.com and create the log home of your dreams. For more than 20 years, Off the Wall Advertising has built a track record of success helping businesses like yours across the state of Montana. While working with hundreds of businesses, including Jason Walker Media, they have developed a system for success. Off the Wall Advertising utilizes indoor advertising, placing professional billboards in high-traffic locations. Let Off the Wall Advertising show you how to get the return on investment you expect from every advertising dollar. Off the Wall Advertising, along with the Jason Walker Show and Continental Divide Radio, have packages for even more bang for your buck. Contact Off the Wall today at offthewallmt.com to schedule a free consultation. Father's Day is coming fast, and what more would that great dad in your life want than a full detail from Auto Concepts? Or maybe he would just prefer a lift kit. It's also camping season, and now is the perfect time to outfit that rig with a winch just in case. Auto Concepts is your home for everything for your vehicle, including updating your car stereo system too. Auto Concepts also has gift certificates for dad or yourself. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. There's only one place in Helena to cure your craving for Cajun cuisine, and that is Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys and catfish to jambalaya and much more, Cafe Zydeco has the best Cajun this side of New Orleans. And Cafe Zydeco cares about those that take care of us. Military, law enforcement, first responders can get your drink free as a way of saying thank you to those that protect us every day. If you're looking for a place to grab lunch or dinner, get the flavor of the Big Easy in Big Sky Country at Cafe Zydeco on Euclid in Helena.
Ah, summer. A time to work in the yard and get all those projects that you've been thinking about all winter done. And when you've had enough, go to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar to cool off, relax, laugh a little or a lot, your choice, have a drink and play your favorite games. There's plenty of new games and your old favorites. Now, if you don't want to work hard and the relaxing part sounds the best to you, then just head over to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar on Dredge behind Jade Restaurant. Happy summer, everyone.
Join us in Billings for a weekend of fun as we celebrate the 2024 class of the Montana Pro Football Hall of Fame. The weekend kicks off with golf at Pryor Creek with your chance to either register a team or golf with a current or past inductee. Saturday begins with the second annual Speak Up Symposium discussing mental health in student athletes. Featured speakers include Robert Dorr, Ryan Wetzel, and Capri Richardson. Then the festivities kick into high gear with the red carpet event at 5 p.m. hosted by Jason Walker as the inductees, past and present, stop by for a quick visit. The banquet begins at 6 p.m. and this year's class is loaded with great professional talent from Montana high schools and colleges, including Chase Reynolds, Mark McGrath, Brock Osweiler, and Mark Mariani. The 2024 Montana Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony and banquet, June 21st and 22nd at the Billings Hotel and Convention Center. Get your tickets now at any Universal Athletic store or online at mtfootballhof.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Party people! Tag team music in full effect. That's me, DC, the brain supreme, and my man Steve Rowland. We're kicking the flow.
This is the Jason Walker Show.
Tag team back again.
Taking you back to the early 90s, little tag team. Oop, there it is. Jason Walker Show back in the Off the Wall Mancave. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena. Mid-80s today. Oh, so nice. So nice. And not very much wind. Even nicer. All right. Let's hop right into it. Barry Abrams is going to join us coming up from the host of The Far Turn, ESPN producer, and horse aficionado. He will join us a little bit later to preview the Belmont. But joining us now, Off the Wall Mancave, is Helena sports aficionado. His name is Curt Synness, and he joins us now here on the Jason Walker Show. Well, it is time for a yearly conversation. Normally we talk twice a year, but he didn't ask to come on and talk about his calendar for the new year. So here we are talking with Curt anyway, but how are you doing, sir?
Well, good, thanks. And yeah, the deal with the calendars, I got behind on everything. I had to write 3 obituaries for my family, and it kind of sent me in a tailspin. So I was behind on everything. But anyway, circle of life, right?
Yeah. Does that, it kind of sucks when, I mean, family members pass away, but I remember, because you're a writer, so obviously you had to write the obituaries, but I remember when my grandma passed, I was a DJ, so the family wanted me to do the tape of the songs for her funeral. Uh-huh. I'm like, seriously? I want to grieve too.
Yeah. Well, actually, Yeah, and actually, it was hard, but it was very cathartic for me. And by the time I got to my mom, I actually did 4 because I did my dad a couple years earlier. And he was one of those people that he had the kind of life where my brother says, "Where are you going to start and where are you going to finish?"
Right.
Because he just had such an amazing life. But yeah, and it was hard. And by the time I got to my mom was a writer. And, she did write some of her autobiographies. She had some notes and everything. But by that time, I was thinking to myself, "Mom, I wish you would have wrote this one." But yeah, so
Yeah. Curt Synness joining us here on the Jason Walker Show. He is the intrepid reporter. That's what I always keep calling you. But you've got the Helena Sports Hall of Fame. The new class was announced not too long ago, and it's coming up in July. But what an amazing, before we even get into who, but an amazing class again this year. And you think about how many great Helena sports teams, individuals, whatever it is, just amazing. It never ceases to not blow my mind.
It is endless, Jason. It's just, there's just a bottomless pit of material and athletes and people. And every year it keeps building, you look at the contemporary kids that are coming through, and it's never ending. And it's like you say, it's each class we're trying to catch up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's start, shall we? You take the lead, and I'll just follow you.
Okay. Well, I'll just start off with the banquet and a little bit about myself. I'm no longer a board member. I am an ex officio, but I'm writing the biographies, and I'm doing this talk show with you to help the folks out.
Mm-hmm.
So the banquet is July 11th at the Great Northern Ballroom, and tickets are available at Helena, SHOF @gmail.com. So if anyone's interested in attending.
I think you have a lot of them.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, we've got 13 individuals and 9 teams are going in, and I'll just start with the individuals. We'll lead off with Don McIntyre, basketball official. They officiated both boys and girls high school basketball for 41 seasons.
Wow.
From 1974 to 2014. And his son pointed out to me that 41 seasons doubles to 82 because he was working both boys and girls.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of those, Curt, were done in the same or in separate seasons, not just the same.
Right. Yeah. So it was, because the girls was in the fall before they moved it to the winter with the boys. Yeah. So Don was busy, running up and down the floor, keeping up with the kids into his 60s. He spearheaded the introduction of the 3-person prep hoops referee mechanics for the Tri-County area, which most likely led to the model that expedited implementation of its use throughout Montana. Don developed an excellent rapport with and was very well respected by high school coaches, players, and fans as an integral staple of officiating in the Helena area during 5 decades. Next up is Earl Fred. Now, Earl's a Golden athlete. He was the Helena Legion baseball starting shortstop in 1949 and 50, and their second leading hitter with a .394 batting average his final season. Fred was offered a tryout with the Chicago Cubs, but chose instead to attend Montana State University, where he served as the Bobcats captain on the diamond. After joining the military with the Air Force All-Star team in 1956, Earl batted against Sandy Koufax during the All-Service Tournament. Back home, he was part of 2 semi-pro Copper League championships, the 1958 Helena Wranglers and 1962 East Helena Smelterites. And one of his teammates there was Charlie Pride.
I was just going to say.
Yep, because Charlie got here in 60, so they played together. Next up is Thad Michelson, Capitol High swimmer. Thad attained 14 All-State swim medals for Capitol from 1989 to 92, and he holds the boys' all-city record of 8 combined state championships, 5 individuals, and 3 relays. He remains the only local swimmer, male or female, to win 4 AA titles in the same meet. Thad set 3 state records, one of which lasted 23 years. And he still owns or shares 9 of Capitol's school records.
Wow.
And he went on to become an All-American at Linfield College.
Okay.
Next up is Casey Chilton Malloy. Casey was Helena High's, both schools, Capitol wasn't in existence yet. So she was our first local MHSA state track champion. She swept the 100 and 220 yard dashes back when they were still yards in 1972. She was a junior, and her time at 11.2 seconds in the 100 tied the all-class state record, and her 25.8 in the 220 was a Class AA record. Her senior year, she earned another state title with the Lady Bengals 880 medley relay in a school record time. Her HHS marks in the sprints and number of career state meet medals lasted for 20 years.
Wow.
Next up, Kim Hurley. Now, Kim was a 3-year Helena Senators Legion baseball player, ranks among the best hitters in program history. He was a 2-time team batting champion, hitting .405 in 1971 and .433 in 1972. And that was with a wood bat. He was a member of a pair of state runner-up teams with the Senators, and he garnered the 1972 state tournament MVP award with a .588 batting average. He went on to play at Scottsdale Community College, where he was selected to the all-conference team, and he helped the Drovers qualify for the 1974 National Junior College World Series. Kim was drafted by the California Angels, transferred to Oregon State, but his career was ended with nagging knee injuries. Next is Paul Caruso, and Paul is in the special category. Paul was intricately active in the game of golf at the local, state, national, and international levels over the course of 4 decades. He was a committee member of the USGA for 10 years, beginning in 1995, serving as treasurer in 2002 and 2003, and vice president in 04 and 05. He also performed various assignments at the Masters, U.S. Amateur and U.S. Open, British Open, U.S. Senior Open, and U.S. Women's Amateur and Open tournaments, and locally served on Green Meadows Country Club Board of Directors and has been the GMCC Committee Chairman.
He also did some work with the Live Tour when they first started up.
With which tour?
Live.
Now, what's that?
That's the one that kind of broke away from the PGA a couple years ago, and now they're back to.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I learned something new.
I'm here for you, Curt.
Like I usually do when I talk to you.
That's right. That's right. I'm a plethora of knowledge, my friend.
and you love to say plethora, don't you?
I do. It's a good word.
The first time I heard that word was in Three Amigos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've loved it ever since.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Okay, next up, Julie Brown Petrie. Downtown Julie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
She was the Capital City's first Montana Gatorade Girls Basketball Player of the Year. In back-to-back state hoops titles, game victories in 1990 and 91, the Lady Bengals 5'10" post averaged 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 6.5 steals. On the track, Julie garnered 6 MHSA titles, 1 800 run, 2 1600 runs, and 3 with the long relays. She went on to play basketball at Montana State. She made first team All Big Sky, averaged 8.1s for her career, and she joined the Lady Bobcats 500 rebound club.
Member of the first championship, too, for MSU, if I recall.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, with Cass Bauer and, yeah.
Okay. See, now I got to add that in.
There you go.
Next up, Dave Tennis.
Who's this guy? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yep, everybody knows Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's golden. So Dave coached the Helena Senators Legion Baseball Club for 20 seasons, from 1998 to 2017, highlighted by 3 successive state championships from 2001 to 03. When the Senators captured the 2001 crown, it was their second title and the first in 33 years. He went on to amass 656 victories, 17 seasons of 500-plus ball. The Senators, the 2003 Senators, were the last team to win the AA 3 times. They're the last AA team in the state to three-peat. So that was, 21 years ago.
Yeah.
Shane McIntyre, linebacker for Capitals back-to-back undefeated state football championships in 1999 and 2000, and was selected first-team All-State his senior year. He ranked number 2 on CHS's career tackles for loss chart with 25, and was named the co-defensive player of the East-West Shrine Game. At the University of Montana, Shane led the 2004 national runners-up with 94 tackles and 46 solo tackles, and was selected first-team All-Big Sky. He ranks number 10 in the University of Montana's tackles for loss career list. Next up is Sheila Williams in the coaching category. Served as Helena High's head volleyball coach from 1994 to 2011, and girls track and field from 2003 to 2020. Among her highlights on the volleyball court were winning Helena's first state volleyball championships back-to-back in 2010 and 2011. And on the track, her highlights included 2 state team trophies, runner-up in 2013 and 3rd place in 2011.
And next is an absolute sweetheart of a young lady. Love Coach Sheila.
Yeah, she's great. She was always just, very upbeat, very positive. Very steady. Callie Sparing Harbert was a three-sport standout at Capitol High. She garnered nine varsity letters and the 1999 Jude Gleason Award. And Callie was the first Lady Bruin to, no, I shouldn't say that. Yes, she was. She was the first Lady Bruin to get All-State in 3 different sports.
Wow.
Basketball, volleyball, and softball. Basketball, she led the team in at least 5 categories: rebounding, assists, steals, scoring, and of course made All-State, made All-Tournament. In volleyball, she was part of Capital's 1998 state volleyball championship. And on the softball diamond, she led the Bruins in hitting with a 372 average her junior year.
Wow.
Kelly went on to play college basketball at Rocky Mountain College. She earned a first-team all-conference selection. She finished with 922 career points. Next up is Chuck Fred. Chuck was Capitol High's first state track champion and their first state runner-up in cross country. His winning time of 4:21.1 in the 1978 mile run on a cinder track converts to 4:19.5 for 1,600 meters, which still stands as a school record. In cross country, he helped the Bruins to back-to-back state titles in 1976 and 1977. Chuck went on to run for Montana State, where he set 3 school records. Okay, next up, Monica Grimsrud Smith. So she was the first Helena High female to earn All-State in 3 sports in the same school year. In 2011, she helped the Lady Bruins to the state championship, and she was named Montana Gatorade Volleyball Player of the Year. Monica set about 5 or 6 school records on the volleyball court. Basketball, she led the team in scoring and rebounding, and she made an All-State, earned an All-State medal on the 1,600 relay team. But she was even better in college. She was all-conference all 4 years at MSU Billings, and she was the Yellow Jackets all-decade player.
Yeah, she was pretty solid.
Yeah, and 2 sports.
Yes,
that's pretty grueling. That court gets hard after a while, doesn't it? I would guess.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, the 1998 Capitol High boys track and field team captured the program's first ever divisional and state AA championships. At state, Coach Tom Pedersen's Bruins outdistanced runner-up Butte 94-80. Behind Greg Carruthers' 300 hurdles title and 20 and a half meet points, Jake Eldridge's 5 medals, and 11 top 3 event placings. Capital boys repeated the next year in 1999, so those 2 teams are going in at the same time. Most of the same players. The Bruins went undefeated that year. They captured the Sweet Dahlberg and scored to Cam invites, divisionals, and then, of course, state. Defended their title 179 over runner-up Helena High. Carruthers tallied a school record 30 and a half points, winning the 300 hurdles, placing runner-up in the 200 and 400 dashes. And he was part of the winning 1,600 relay with Ty Emmert, Pat Hoban, and Jake Eldridge. And he ran on the second place 400 relay as well. So Carruthers was pretty busy.
Yeah.
Kind of athleticism that took him to the Pac-10, huh? Or Pac-12, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Washington.
the Pac-2 now.
I'm out of the loop. And Jake Eldridge, he pitched in with a state championship in the 400. Okay, next up are the 1910s, and I don't know how to say this, so maybe you can help me. Is it 1910s or 19 teens Helena High Bengals? Was it 14, 15, and 16, and 1919 they won state basketball championships?
Yeah, I would just go with the 1910s.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
So we'll stick with 1910.
Okay.
Yeah. And they were the state's first hoops dynasty.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. So consequently, it goes without saying, none of those guys will be here, but we do have one of the players' grandkids are going to be at the banquet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and his name was Sterritt Ben Burgess, and he gained fame. He ran in the very first Mount Helena run in 1960. Of course, it wasn't called the Mount Helena Run then. But when they revitalized it, that's what they named it, and it was in recognition of him and another teenager that beat a national runner to the top. So that team's going in posthumously, of course. Okay, next up are a couple of Capital High football teams, 1999 and 2000 Bruins, back-to-back undefeated state championships under Coach Mark Sampson. They beat CMR 35-14 in 1999, and the next year they beat Kalispell 36-7. Their 24 consecutive wins tied the Class AA record, and had some great players on that team. Too many to mention.
Yes.
Too many to list. Don't want to leave anybody out.
That's right.
So next up are the three Senators teams that we talked about for Dave Tennis, 2001, 2002, 2003. In 2001, they beat the Great Falls Stallions and the Chippers 7-4. In 2002, they beat the Billings Royals 3-2 for the title. And in 2003, who did they beat? Missoula.
Okay.
9-0 for the shutout. And again, a plethora of great players.
Yes.
Too many to mention at this point. But anyway, those three teams are going in.
Was Coach Burnett on any of those teams?
He was. I think his last year was 98.
Oh, okay. So no.
So I don't know. I think he might have been an assistant with the Reps.
Okay.
I think he was probably done with his college, and then I think he played in the military. Might have went into the military or something like that.
Okay.
But don't quote me.
I won't. Never misquote you.
Misquote me and I would get it right.
Well,
it'd be right. Probably. Yeah. Okay, and then batting cleanup on our lineup for that night will be the ninth. So they're not today. They're listed last. I don't know how they are in the order at the banquet, but it's the 1997 Helena High girls tennis team. It's Lady Bingle's only state tennis championship. They had an individual titleist by the name of Nellie Crowley who led them to the title. And several other players that scored points and got them to the mountaintop. So that's our wind-up for today.
Real quick, was it Earl Fred? Was he one of the first ones? Was he the one that batted against Koufax? Did he get a hit?
No, he did not get a hit. Okay. I think he struck out. I know he struck out. I don't know if it was on 3 pitches.
Okay.
But in 1956, Koufax hadn't really learned how to pitch yet.
No.
He was a thrower. But man, what a thrower he was.
Yes.
Flamethrower.
Moderately good, yeah. Maybe the best 6-year stretch.
Yeah, it is. In my book, it is.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And almost anybody's, it'd be hard to beat that 6-year stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When he had to slow down,
Yep.
That's what Roseborough or whoever is got, you don't have to throw it through the wall every time. Slow it down. But his curveball was just as good as his fastball, if not better.
Yep.
I mean, they'd say it dropped off the table.
Yep. It's crazy watching those old footage of those.
Yeah. So once again on the banquet, anyone interested in tickets, email Helena, SOF@gmail.com.
Yep. And that is July 11th, Great Northern Ballroom. Reservations must be completed by June 15th. You got 9 days.
June 15th. That is correct.
Okay. Did you say correct or corrupt?
Correct.
Okay. That is corrupt. Well, there's a lot of things corrupt nowadays, Curt. But one thing that is not is the Helena Sports Hall of Fame. There you go. See, that's a good plug.
Yeah, that's a great plug.
We're not corrupt.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Right hand on the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. Fingers behind the back crossed. Hey, appreciate the time as always, my man. And here's my question. When does Mike Miller have to wait a certain amount of years, or does he get to go in next year right away?
Well, Mike needs to be nominated, and I don't know if he's nominated yet, but that's the process. And then it goes to a vote. And he's a great candidate. But I can't predict anything, because I'm an ex officio now, so I'm not involved with the selection or anything like that. But
Curt, before I let you go, let's talk about some of these athletes in the last 10 years that are going to be in soon. I mean, you're talking Mackenzie Johnston, but there's a ton. I mean, Jamie Pickens, Cam Hilborn, the Todorovic sisters, from what they've done, and the Helena High girls track teams winning 3 in a row. I mean, it's absolutely crazy how blessed we are in this city to have so many great athletes. And I know we mentioned at the beginning, but I mean, the history that you just went through is great, but I've been here 11 years and there's a lot of great history just in 11 years. Oh yeah. There's no question about that. And, you look at those 3 Capital volleyball teams, the Barch sisters and all of those great players. And then, the Capital, the football championships. Yep. We've had so many championships. I know. The new Senators teams, those players. I mean, it's just we're not going to run out. No, no. We just keep trying to catch up. I don't know how much longer I'll last, but yeah. No, it's so cool to see. So. Curt, as always, appreciate the time. Good luck with the banquet. Get your tickets, Helena, SHOF@gmail.com by June 15th. That banquet is July 11th at the Great Northern. Curt, appreciate it as always, my man. Thanks, Jason. You're welcome. Curt Synness joining us, Jason Walker Show, and the Off the Wall Mancave. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and Barry Abrams gives us a preview of the Belmont Saturday. That is next on the Jason Walker Show.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Father's Day is coming fast, and what more would that great dad in your life want than a full detail from Auto Concepts? Or maybe he would just prefer a lift kit. It's also camping season, and now is the perfect time to outfit that rig with a winch just in case. Auto Concepts is your home for everything for your vehicle, including updating your car stereo system too. Auto Concepts also has gift certificates for dad or yourself. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Casey Damon is a sixth-generation Montanan with deep roots, making her a true Montana insider. She knows all the best places, from fishing and recreation to entertainment and local hidden gems. She grew up here, went to the historic Central Elementary School, and graduated from Helena High. She is proud of her Montana lifestyle and loves Montana history. Helena and Central Montana are great places to live, work, and enjoy, which is why she chooses to keep calling it home. Voted Helena's favorite realtor and Montana's best residential realtor, there's no wonder why people go to her for their real estate needs. Casey understands that selling and buying a home is complex and deeply personal. There's also a lot at stake financially and personally. This perspective on the process and the responsibility felt towards her clients drives Casey to truly be an expert at her job. She understands the market and all the variables involved in a real estate transaction, making sure you feel supported and that you have a trusted advisor by your side. To work with Casey Damon, give her a call at 406-465-6780 or text KACIE to 85377. Saturday nights are meant for dancing, fun, and good times, and Continental Divide Radio is your home for all that and more as we bring you the Joe Mitchell State Farm Country Dance Hour, followed by an hour of nothing but the best from the 80s with the Joe Mitchell State Farm 80s Party Hour. Celebrate the music of your memories with only the best country dance songs and music from the decade of decadence. The Joe Mitchell State Farm Country Dance Hour and the Joe Mitchell State Farm 80s Dance Party, Saturday nights beginning at 9 on Continental Divide Radio. As the industry leader, Montana Custom Log Homes is your path to the custom log home you've always dreamed of. Whether you use your own plans or select from their 15-plus beautiful milled log home designs, they're committed to bringing your vision to life. Imagine your home crafted with over 50 years of experience by Montana's finest craftsmen and built to last for generations. They specialize in authentic, genuine log homes full of character and warmth, but offer more than just homes. They manage every detail, from majestic handcrafted and timber frame homes to log accents, inviting entryways, project management, and stunning stairs and railings. Start your exciting journey today. Visit yourcustomlog.com and create the log home of your dreams. For more than 20 years, Off the Wall Advertising has built a track record of success helping businesses like yours across the state of Montana. While working with hundreds of businesses, including Jason Walker Media, they have developed a system for success. Off the Wall Advertising utilizes indoor advertising, placing professional billboards in high-traffic locations. Let Off the Wall Advertising show you how to get the return on investment you expect from every advertising dollar. Off the Wall Advertising, along with The Jason Walker Show and Continental Divide Radio, have packages for even more bang for your buck. Contact Off the Wall today at offthewallmt.com to schedule a free consultation. There's only one place in Helena to cure your craving for Cajun cuisine, and that is Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys and catfish to jambalaya and much more, Cafe Zydeco has the best Cajun this side of New Orleans. And Cafe Zydeco cares about those that take care of us. Military, law enforcement, first responders can get your drink free as a way of saying thank you to those that protect us every day. If you're looking for a place to grab lunch or dinner, get the flavor of the Big Easy in Big Sky Country at Cafe Zydeco on Euclid in Helena.
Ah, summer. A time to work in the yard and get all those projects that you've been thinking about all winter done. And when you've had enough, go to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar to cool off, relax, laugh a little or a lot, your choice. Have a drink and play your favorite games. There's plenty of new games and your old favorites. Now, if you don't want to work hard and the relaxing part sounds the best to you, then just head over to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar on Dredge behind Jade Restaurant. Happy summer, everyone.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. Final segment on a Thursday in the Off the Wall Mancave. Segment brought to you by Bowser's Lucky Dog Casino. Drink and gamble responsibly. Well, we will not have a Triple Crown winner this year. After Mystic Dan won the Derby, Seize the Gray won the Preakness, but they will both be competing at the Belmont this week, which is not at Belmont Park. It is at Saratoga. And joining us is our favorite horse racing expert, host of the Far Turn. His name is Barry Abrams, and he joins us now here, Jason Walker Show.
Well, it is early morning in Montana. Well, it is early morning in Montana and out in Connecticut. Why is it spelled Connecticut, but it's Connecticut?
Well, it's a Native American name, so you'd have to ask them, but they're not here to defend themselves anymore.
That is true. Barry, how are you, my friend?
Outstanding, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. The Mets, 3 in a row? Are you kidding me?
And now we get to watch them at an earlier hour because they will spend the weekend in London.
Are you a fan of that?
Oh, yeah, I love it because it gets that out of the way earlier, and then I move on with my day. See, you're on the western, not west coast, but western part of the country, and so you're used to watching things earlier.
Yes.
I would love it if I lived in California, let's say, and the Mets would come on at 4 in the afternoon instead of 7 at night, get it done, have the evening free to do other things. I love it. So when they go to Europe, I loved it when in 2000, when they played in Japan at like 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, and I was listening as I was getting ready for work, and I was driving to work, and then I got to work, and the whole thing was done.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love watching tennis from Europe, like the French Open going on now. Happens in the morning, and then I move on.
Yes.
Formula One, too. I don't like this weekend when Formula One is in Canada, because then it's in the afternoon. I like it in the morning when it's done. I can watch it and it's over.
That's what I love about the Australian Open. Because I don't sleep much at night anyway, so I'm up at night watching the tennis. It's great.
Well, I missed the middle part, obviously. That's the real overnight, but I catch the beginning and then what they call the primetime session that starts at 7 o'clock local time, that starts at 5 a.m. Eastern time. That's when I get up, and I'll listen while I'm working out and driving to work and all that stuff. So, yeah, I love stuff at off hours. So I'll definitely enjoy the Mets being in London.
Okay.
Maybe the change of scenery will help turn around their fortune.
And I hope so. I hope so. Barry Abrams joining us. He is the host of the Far Turn at B. Abrams Voice on the socials. Got the Belmont coming up. It's not at Saratoga. Take us through the differences between where they're going to be and where they've been in the past.
Well, yeah, the Belmont Park is the largest racetrack in North America. It's 1.5 miles around, and it's much sandier and deeper than most other tracks. The Belmont Park is being reconstructed, so this year and next year, the Belmont Stakes weekend will be at Saratoga in upstate New York. And there are more differences than you and I even have time to go through, but Saratoga Racecourse is 1.125 miles around, not 1.5 miles around. And so because of that, the race itself is being shortened from 1.5 miles to 1.25 miles. In order to run 1.5 miles at Saratoga, you would either need to start in the middle of a turn or finish in the middle of a turn, which is very awkward. So 1.25 miles will start at the top of the home stretch in the chute. And that straightaway will then link up with the main track, which is how the Travers Stakes, their signature race of the summer, is run. 1.25 miles out of the chute at the top of the stretch. So the race will be a little bit shorter. 1.25 miles, of course, is the length of the Kentucky Derby. So not too much shorter, but, the folks in New York are fond of saying that extra 1/4 mile creates the test of the champion, as they call the Belmont Stakes. Nonetheless, the other difference of note is that Saratoga, unlike Belmont Park, is a speed favoring track. It returns energy to a horse's hoof a little bit more. It's not as sandy. You don't sink into it quite as much as you do at Belmont Park. So where you might not go for early speed in the Belmont Stakes at Belmont Park, you probably will here. Speed works well at this track.
Well, and there's some speed in there. I mean, you look at 10 horses. Sierra Leone is in there for the first time since the Derby. That's a very fast horse right there.
But he is a closer.
Right.
He's a come from behinder, as is the horse next to him, Honor Marie. So I'm leaning against them, even though Sierra Leone is a classy horse and he's going to go off the favorite here. He's under 2-1, at least on the morning line. But I'm looking against him on a track like this. Now, the interesting one, there are a couple of horses that didn't run in the Kentucky Derby or the Preakness who were newcomers, and we'll get to them in a minute. But one of the things that makes this race interesting is that you have the Kentucky Derby winner and the Preakness winner in this race. And you and I have talked about for years how 3 races in 5 weeks, which is what the Triple Crown is. First Saturday of May for the Derby, third Saturday of May for the Preakness, second Saturday of June for the Belmont. That's not how horses run anymore. So Sierra Leone skipped the Preakness, had 5 weeks of rest between the Derby and the Belmont. That's more typical. But Mystic Dan ran the Preakness, finished second to Seize the Gray, and Seize the Gray, the Preakness winner, had run on Derby Day, but not in the Derby itself. He ran in a mile-long race called the Pat Day Mile. So he is also running 3 races in 5 weeks. You don't see that often, and it definitely adds some spice here. Now, Mystic Dan, the Derby winner, is obviously helped by a track that has moisture in it. He finished second in the Preakness on a muddy track. He won at Oaklawn Park in Arkansas on a muddy track. And even the Kentucky Derby, where he won, the track is listed as having been fast, but if you watch that race, and I know you did, it was not dry. That track looked pretty goopy to me, and that certainly helped him. Interestingly, if you look at the analytics of these races, the Preakness was actually a stronger race than the Derby was. So his finishing second to Seize the Gray is actually better analytically than his win in the Kentucky Derby. I think he's going to be helped by the track condition in New York as well, because there is rain expected today, Thursday, and tomorrow. Not maybe as much on Saturday, which helps me because I won't be covered by the grandstand on Saturday. I'll be there, but I'll be out in the open air. So if it doesn't rain, I'm good with that. But there'll still be significant moisture in the track. That will certainly help him, and it will help Seize the Gray. But 3 races in 5 weeks against horses who are rested. At some point, they've got to pay the bill for that, and it's going to catch up to them. And I think this may be the race. And that's why I'm looking at horses who didn't run in either of those 2 races. Number 4 is the Wine Steward, who won a race the week in between the Derby and the Preakness, a race called the Peter Pan, held downstate in New York at Aqueduct Racetrack. And the horse right next to him is Antiquarian, who finished, Antiquarian won that race. The Wine Steward finished second in the Peter Pan. And I think with 4 weeks of rest, not having to travel out of New York, I think they're really ones to watch, and they're both double digits on the morning line. I would definitely look to them to run big races here.
Yeah, 15-1 and 12-1 in that 4-5 slot. So, okay, so this won't essentially be a match race between the Derby winner and the Preakness winner, correct?
Well, I mean, they're both in it.
Right.
I think Mystic Dan and Seize the Gray are going to run well, but I think when you get to the stretch, they're going to have to pay the bills for all the mileage that they've taken so far.
Barry Abrams, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. I brought up Dornoch during the Preakness. This is a horse that just for some reason I like, and I don't know why, but he's going off at 15-1 right now.
Well, he's run he won the Fountain of Youth in March at Gulfstream, though that was not a big field, and it turns out not a great field. He ran 4th in the Bluegrass Stakes at Keeneland as his final prep for the Derby. That was the race won by Sierra Leone. And then, I think you can draw a line through the Kentucky Derby. He was really not a factor. He had a check hard down the backstretch. But I just would need to see this horse turn in a big performance before I believe he can do it. That doesn't mean he can't. I mean, his analytic numbers before the Bluegrass are decent, but I just think may have seen his ceiling, where I think with a horse like Antiquarian or the Wine Steward, I don't think we've seen their ceilings. I mean, the Wine Steward had allergies last fall. He was scratched the morning of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. After having finished second in the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland, he was scratched, and he had a late start to this year because of these allergies that his trainer Mike Maker has really not, or rather Mike Maker has not really expounded on what that was, but the horse got a late start. That's why he ran in the Lexington, which is kind of like that last chance to make the Derby. So he ran in that, and instead of rushing him back to the Derby, Mike Maker gave him one more week for the Peter Pan, again, an easier spot, and he finished second. And now he seems like he's really ready to go. So, when you look at those horses that I think have a higher upside against a horse like Dornoch, I think the Wine Steward and Antiquarian are better places to go.
You have Mind Frame at 7-2 in that the 10 hole. Is this a horse we should look from the outside? And does that being on the outside affect differently at Belmont versus Saratoga?
Yeah, definitely post position matters more at Saratoga because the turns are tighter, the track is shorter. So, when you're on a road and you have to brake going around a turn, when the turn's tighter, you have to brake all that much more. So certainly post position's an issue. Now, Mind Frame to me is another Todd Pletcher horse who has won both of his starts, and he's won them by daylight. In fact, he won a race on the day of the Kentucky Derby that was much earlier in the day, won it by almost 8 lengths. Start to finish, I mean, he wasn't even touched. What I wonder here is he's owned by Mike Rapoli, the former founder of Vitamin Water, and Mike Rapoli has another horse in here, number 7, Protective. I don't know how good Protective is, but my question is whether Mind Frame was entered to be his rabbit, to set a good early pace, because he seems like an early pace horse, and that from the 10 post he would try to clear the field to get to the early lead. Is he doing that to set the pace for a horse like Protective? So, again, Mind Frame's numbers look really good. Hasn't really run in a race of this caliber. All of a sudden, if Rapoli's throwing him into the Belmont Stakes, and I know Rapoli's from Queens, he always calls himself Mike from Queens, like he was a radio talk show call-in guy, but I wonder whether, he just wants to be in the party, since this is his Kentucky Derby, the Belmont Stakes being from New York, and I also wonder if he's doing this as to set a pace for Protective, number 7. I don't know how good Protective is. Yeah. He's 20-1, but, if Mind Frame comes up and jumps up to that higher class and can run that kind of a race, more power to him, but he's only 3.5 to 1, 7-2. For a horse that's never run anywhere close to a race of this caliber, I'd have to see him do it to believe it.
And then Resilience we haven't talked about yet at 10-1, in between the two Triple Crown winners in the 2 hole.
Yeah, I mean, his race in the Wood Memorial 2-back at Aqueduct drew a really high power number. I mean, the analytics for that were outstanding. But in the last 25 years or so, horses coming out of that race, the Wood Memorial at Aqueduct, have not gone on to great things. And this horse finished a respectable 6th in the Kentucky Derby. He's 10-1, and the Belmont barn, Belmont is his trainer, Junior Alvarado is his rider, those two have done really well, and the combination of those two have done really well. So that's certainly in their favor. His workouts have been good. It seems like he's going to be part of the early mix as well. He's been training very sharply, not slower gallops, but faster ones. So I think Belmont wants him to be part of the early pace. Early pace, as I say, is good at Saratoga. So certainly you have to look at him. But again, I'd have to see it to believe that he's really going to win this race. But if you're willing to bet against the favorites, Resilience is certainly one you might want to include.
It'd be a good payoff if you go Wine Steward, Antiquarian, and Resilience.
Yeah, like I said, if you're willing to bet against the favorites, I would certainly put Resilience in the group of horses that I consider. That's a smart play.
Barry Abrams, our guest here. Before I let you go, is there any factor with the crowd at this race? Because it is a little smaller.
But they're right on top of you.
Okay.
Even more so than I think Churchill or Belmont Park. The crowd here is right on top of you. And this is, I mean, yeah, there'll be more casual people because it's a Triple Crown race and it draws more. But Saratoga is probably the most horse-centric town in the country, with all due respect to Hot Springs, Arkansas, where Oaklawn Park is. These people know racing, they love racing, and their yells will be lustier, you know, because these people really know what they're doing. So the crowd is smaller, but it's stronger. Okay. And that will certainly make, and not only that, if you've ever been to Saratoga, and I hope one day in your life you can, the people can stand on the walk, like right alongside the walkway where the horses enter to go to the paddock. I mean, the people line that walkway all the way from the barn to the paddock. It's unlike any other place you've ever seen. So the horses are constantly surrounded by people, unlike most other tracks.
Sure.
And so there is going to be a lot for them to deal with. Now, most of these horses have dealt with that. Mystic Dan, obviously, this is his third Triple Crown race. That's going to be an issue for the Wine Steward and for Antiquarian to feel that energy that they haven't felt yet. If they can handle it, I think they have a great shot. But you're right, that is certainly an issue.
This day in Belmont history, AP Indy won in 1992. Good horse.
Breed-shaping sire. I mean, the AP Indy lines have helped shape this, what make the industry what it is today.
Victory Gallop in 98.
I was there that day.
Okay. There was a couple others that I had seen. American
Victory Gallop just beating Real Quiet by a nose as Real Quiet went for the Triple Crown.
Yes.
I mean, by a whisker. Yes. It looked like Real Quiet was home. Everybody was screaming, and I looked at my wife and said, "Hold on a minute." And here came Victory Gallop closing down that long Belmont stretch. And I mean, you couldn't put a piece of paper between his nose and Real Quiet's nose. That's how close it was to deny him the Triple Crown.
Great race. And then on this day, 37 years streak ended with American Pharaoh 9 years ago winning the Triple Crown.
Now, I talked about how Saratoga has a knowledgeable crowd and the yells are lustier there because people know what they're doing. On the when you look back at American Pharaoh and that day, the Belmont Stakes, you remember pictures of, what the scene looked like. That day, it was not about, the pictures were whatever they were. It was about the sound, that wall of sound, that lusty 20-minute unabated wall of sound. I mean, all those near misses that I talked about, like Victory Gallop denying Real Quiet, like Touch Gold denying Smarty Jones. On those days, the crowd was hopeful, optimistic, but cautious. On the day of American Pharaoh, from the start of the day, that crowd expected greatness. You could hear it all day. It was a different buzz. And when it happened, that 20-minute wall of sound just gives me goosebumps even thinking about it. I've never heard a sound like that at a thoroughbred racetrack, ever. The only thing to which I could compare it was the day that Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona 500, which is still the greatest sporting event I've ever attended. And when he came down the pit lane with every other crew member from all the other teams standing along the pit lane, high-fiving him as he drove the car slowly down toward Victory Circle, that yell is the only thing to which I could compare what American Pharoah sounded like.
Well, NASCAR fans and horse racing fans are different breeds, no pun intended.
They were the same that day. I mean, remember, Dale Earnhardt had so many near misses in the Daytona 500. He was bigger than life. He was everybody's hero in that grandstand. And so that lusty yell went unabated for probably 20 minutes, and American Pharoah's went for 20 minutes, too. It was unbelievable.
Well, I know you got to get off to work, but he is the host of The Far Turn. You can check him out on the socials at B. Abrams Voice. And Barry, we appreciate it as well. We'll catch up a little bit later for the Breeders' Cup, shall we?
You are a gentleman and a scholar. Anytime.
Barry Abrams, Off the Wall Mancave. We love having Barry on. I've been talking to him since we started this show back at the radio station in 2018. So this is the sixth year I've talked with him. Fantastic. And he knows his horse racing. No question about that. It is June the 6th. It is the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Men that did what a lot of people couldn't, and still to this day couldn't, to save civilization, basically. So we thank them. We honor them on this 80th anniversary of the D-Day landing at Normandy. It is National Eyewear Day. It is Drive-In Movie Day. We used to go to the one in Bozeman. That was a lot of fun. And National Yo-Yo Day today. A couple of things on this day in history. The 1901 British Open in Muirfield. Scotsman James Braid wins the first of 5 Open titles. 1921, Detroit Stars Bill Gatewood pitches the first no-hitter in the Negro League. 1944, because of D-Day, all Major League Baseball games canceled in honor of the landings in northern France. 1971, Willie Mays hit his record 22nd and last extra inning home run. That's a lot in extras. Clutch. 1987, French Open, 17-year-old German Steffi Graf beat Martina Navratilova. First Grand Slam victory. 6-4, 4-6, 8-6. Martina was number 1 in the world. 99, French Open, the men. Andre Agassi won his first and only French title. And we mentioned a couple of the other Belmonts on this date in 2009. Kent DeSormo aboard Summerbird would get the win. We mentioned D-Day, 1944, 80 years ago today. But I was also on this date in 1918, the Battle of Belleau Wood, the first U.S. victory of World War I. Yep, it's a big day for American military. And they should always be respected every day. It's crazy how our military gets, 1 or 2 days a year, Memorial Day, Veterans Day. And then you get this whole month of June for things. Yeah. Let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
Walk-off presented by Cafe Zydeco, where the Big Easy meets the Big Sky. They are back from vacation. They are ready to go, ready to roll, and check into Cafe Zydeco for all the best Cajun. Thanks to Barry Abrams. Thanks to Curt Synness for joining us this week. Also, Jesse Zentz. It was a lot of fun. If you missed anything, JasonWalkerShow.com. Back at it next week with a rodeo recap. Our first real one of the year. Northern Rodeo this weekend. Friday, Saturday in Conrad and Culbertson, and then Sunday in Poplar. So hit 3. Yep. You can hit all 3. A lot of driving, but you can do it. I have faith in you. Don't forget Jaywalk in the mornings, Off the Wall Studio, 6 a.m. on Continental Divide Radio, JasonWalkerMedia.com. And enjoy the rest of this weekend. It's going to be gorgeous. Hope you get out and do some fun stuff. Back at it tomorrow for the morning show, finally Friday edition. And we'll see you back here, Jason Walker Show, next week. Appreciate everything. Appreciate our sponsors, our listeners. Love y'all. Have yourself a terrific weekend, a wonderful weekend. See you back here next week, Jason Walker Show.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.